Hi friends, in this video we will learn how to score 55 plus marks in GATE CSE 2022. Again, to just give you a reference point, in general, if you look at the last few years of GATE question papers, if you score roughly around 55 plus marks, you can expect a rank which is less than 500. That's why we have chosen this number. And now you might say, hey, why is the rank 500 very important? Now let's just see that, right? So somebody who gets 55 plus marks on an average, again, this is not an exact threshold or a number, but roughly around that range, they'll get a rank less than 500 in GATE CSE. Now, if you're a general category student, obtaining a rank less than 500 will provide opportunities to land for master's degree programs at IISc, top IITs, the old IITs, and also some new and upcoming good IITs, and also the old NITs or the top NITs for computer science. So 500 is a very good threshold because if you get somewhere around that rank, you'll get some of the best master's degree programs in India. Now please understand that this 55 is just an approximation. The exact marks that you'll need to get a rank less than equal to 500 would change from year to year. Also from the exact question paper set that you get to other question paper sets. Right? So this is just a good approximation in our minds that we should score the 55 plus marks to get a good rank and then get admitted to a good university and a good master's degree program. Cool. Now you might say, hey, how is the GATE CSE evolving over the last 3 years? Again, we have been analyzing the question papers from 2019, 2020 and the two sets of question paper from 2021 GATE CSE. One thing which is happening over the last 3-4 years is that the question paper is getting slightly trickier. This does not mean that every question is trickier. It only means that the number of trickier questions is increasing, number one. Number two, there is more focus on foundational understanding of the concepts. So there is more and more focus which tests how good your conceptual understanding is. But even in all of these question papers, for example, in 2021, set 2, the question paper was both lengthy and there were more trickier questions. But across all these question papers, if you score 55 plus marks, you'll still get a good rank. And most importantly, scoring the 55 plus marks is pretty easy if you have decently strong foundations and if you don't commit silly mistakes. Again, remember, when I say that the GATE paper is getting trickier, which means, again, GATE question paper itself is for 100 marks. Nobody gets 100 out of 100. Again, even getting 90 marks is a big deal. Only very few people every few years get it, right? So all you have to get is 55 plus marks. Again, if you get 70 plus marks in general, you get a very good rank. Even 55 plus, you get a pretty good rank, right? So to obtain 55 plus marks, all you have to do is just solve the easy to score problems and avoid silly mistakes. And to do that, you need to have strong foundations. Even if you don't solve the trickier or the lengthier questions extensively, even if you solve the easy to score problems, you will get into the below 500 rank. Now, we'll show you how to do that in just a few minutes. Cool. So here is a broad overview. The GATE CSE has roughly about 13 subjects. Again, this number 13 differs based on how you count. You might break up engineering mathematics into multiple subjects. Similarly, you could break up discrete mathematics into multiple subjects or group them into one subject. So depending on how you break up the subjects, approximately there are about 13 subjects in one of the possible groupings, right? Again, the GATE is all about having strong foundational basic knowledge of the concepts and being able to solve problems. Those are the two things that GATE is trying to test. Again, GATE focuses mostly on the breadth of knowledge because there are 13 subjects from undergraduate computer science. What they're looking for is your breadth of knowledge. They're not looking for your huge depth of understanding because remember, most people who are writing the GATE examination have completed their undergraduate studies. They're not master's students or PhD students. So you don't have to be an expert in every topic. You just need to know the foundational knowledge, the foundational basics at undergraduate level and be able to solve problems. Right? We have seen some students who go too deep into one topic, spend months on just C programming, reading the documentation in lots of detail. That's not very helpful for GATE because the focus is more on the breadth, not on depth of one topic. If you want to pursue one subject in depth, you can pursue a master's or even a PhD on that subject, right? Cool. So again, one thing that we have observed in the last 3 years, we have worked with thousands of students and helped many hundreds of students get top ranks. So one of the key factors that we have seen, which leads most students to a successful rank and a successful entry into a good master's degree program, are the first thing is a persistent effort. I cannot emphasize this. This is the most important thing. Again, when I say persistent effort, all I'm saying here is that you have to put in effort consistently day in and day out for the next few months. To just give you an estimate, for an average student, they should sign up when you're preparing for GATE. You should sign up to spend at least 2 to 3 hours a day for the next 7 to 9 months. Again, this is for an average student. A brilliant student might require significantly less time. A below average student might have to spend more time than this. But this is the effort that you have to put in consistently and persistently day in and day out. If you're not ready for it, probably you will not be able to crack GATE unless you're a brilliant student. Okay. Second very important thing is you have to practice problem solving, because GATE is all about solving some interesting problems in these 13 subjects. Some students just go through the theory, go through our videos and don't solve problems. They will never be able to crack GATE unless they are brilliant. And there are very few brilliant students in general, right? So we strongly recommend that you practice problem solving. And what we're suggesting here is that you should at least try and solve anywhere from 3,000 to 6,000 problems in the next few months before the GATE examination. Again, the more problems, the better. Again, don't try to struggle with these problems. Don't just see a problem you're not able to solve, go see the answer. That will not help you. You have to build that problem solving muscle. You have to build that problem solving mindset, which only comes when you struggle with the problems. Again, for example, at Applied GATE course itself, we have about 6,000 plus problems in our subject tests, mock tests, topic tests, practice tests, all of them put together. Again, we are modifying some of these 6,000 problems to make them slightly lengthier and trickier. We are also adding more problems to this set so as to even add more trickier and slightly harder, slightly lengthier questions, so that students are better prepared even if they get a slightly trickier question paper. Very, very importantly, since the syllabus is vast, you should revise. You should constantly and regularly revise, otherwise it's very easy to forget what you have learned 3-4 months back. And you have to keep solving new problems, practice problems, and you have to keep moving without getting stuck. We see some students who take a topic, slightly tricky topic, like for example, undecidability in theory of computation. They get stuck on that topic. So don't get stuck. You don't have to be an expert in whole of computer science to crack GATE, because all you need is 55 plus marks out of the 100 marks. So instead of getting stuck on one topic, give it your best. If you can't absorb it completely, it's perfectly okay. Go back to it after a month or after a couple of weeks and keep moving. Go to the next topic. You cannot stop. You have to keep moving towards completing the whole syllabus and also practicing as many problems as possible. Remember that nobody, even the people who are setting the GATE question paper, are not experts in all the 13 subjects. Okay. Again, very, very importantly, you should avoid silly mistakes. Again, in multiple live sessions that we have, multiple practice problem sessions that we have, multiple videos in the course videos also, we describe how to avoid silly mistakes. Again, this can be very costly in the examination. We have seen some brilliant students who have not worked on minimizing their silly mistakes, and they've paid a very high price because they've not gotten a good rank that they would expect. And they're brilliant. They're very good, just that they commit a lot of silly mistakes, right? So avoiding silly mistakes through a very simple strategy where you focus on your silly mistakes and constantly work on them. Again, this is something that we described in a lot of live sessions that are on our YouTube channel and things like that. So please check them. Again, we discuss this in lots of detail in our course videos, in our practice problem sessions and live sessions also. Okay, so this is very, very important. Cool. Now, a very common mistake that we see a lot of students commit when they're preparing for GATE CSE is they start with slightly harder to score subjects. Now, what are harder subjects? Again, it's unfair to say harder subjects, because a subject that might be easy for me could be hard for you and vice versa, right? So all we are saying is you should avoid starting with harder to score subjects, like for example, computer organization, computer networks, etc. When I say harder to score subjects, it doesn't mean that you can't score marks in this. All I am saying here is it is harder to score 100% marks in this. Or in other words, you tend to see slightly trickier questions and slightly harder questions from these topics more often than the other subjects and topics, right? So these are called slightly harder to score subjects. Again, the reason we are saying don't start with this. Again, this is what a lot of students do. We are suggesting you not to do that because, for example, let's say you take a subject like computer organization, you start solving some practice problems, you get stuck. The moment you cannot solve 3 or 4 problems, it's very easy to lose motivation. A lot of students lose motivation and say, hey, I will never be able to crack GATE, why prepare so hard for it? So instead of starting with harder to score subjects, it's better to start with easier to score subjects. Like for example, take theory of computation. Theory of computation, it's very easy to score 90 plus marks in that subject in GATE, in general, right? If you just know the basic concepts, if you've done basic practice, you can easily score. Which means for the same effort, you can score more marks. Again, this is better because this will keep you motivated in your whole learning journey and your whole journey to crack GATE, right? So it's better to start with easier to score subjects because that way you'll be motivated throughout your 6 months or 12 months journey ahead of you, right? Cool. Now, another thing, there might be some second year or third year BTech students who will be preparing for GATE examination, especially third year students because they're eligible to attempt the GATE exam now. Now, for them, this is our suggestion. Please focus on the subjects that you have in the corresponding semester. For example, imagine you're a third year student and let's assume in this current semester in your university, let's assume you have computer networks. It's perfectly valid to go ahead with that subject because you're preparing both for GATE and for the semester exams, right? So that's a good strategy. Similarly, if you're a second or a third year student, it's better to also start with C, data structures and algorithms because you've already completed these subjects in your first year and second year, and these subjects are very helpful in your placements and internships. Okay, this is what we recommend if you're a second year or a third year BTech student. Now, if you're a final year student or somebody who is a working professional who is preparing parallelly, or somebody who is taking the long-term preparation strategy for GATE, this is the following order of topics that we recommend. I'll just come to that order in just a couple of minutes. But before I go to the order of topics, this order has been designed using a lot of data. So we have seen data from the last 10-15 years of GATE question papers with more emphasis on the last 3-4 years of question papers. Number one. Number two, we have ordered it in such a way that the easier to score subjects in which you can easily score more marks for the same effort, we have ordered it at the top. We have put it at the first, right? Second, that's the second point. The third thing, very importantly, is that this order is not something new. We have been discussing about this order of preparation with our students for the last 3 years. So this has worked very well for the last 3 years for thousands of students. So this is something that we strongly recommend to keep your motivation levels high. And also it's a good strategy to score good marks. I will show you with the data that if you just follow this order, solve only easy problems, don't make silly mistakes, you can get less than 50, you can get more than 55 marks or less than 500 rank. I'll just show you that. Cool. So here is a huge spreadsheet. I will explain you how to read this spreadsheet. There are more rows below this and there are more columns to the right of this. Again, we will share this spreadsheet with you in the description section below. This is a Google spreadsheet, also called as a Google Sheet. We'll provide the link. Again, you can take some time going through all the details here. I will give you an overview on how to read it. Again, you may have seen a similar spreadsheet from us in the past. All we have done here is we have redone the analysis using GATE CSE 2021 Set 1 and Set 2 papers also and added it to this whole analysis. Okay. So here you have the subject names. This is the order in which we are recommending you cover the subjects. This is a weightage of marks that you can expect in these subjects based on the last 10 years of question papers. Now this is a very important column. This column basically says that in TOC and compiler design, it will be easy to score 90% marks because 90% of the questions will be easy, not even tricky. They will be straightforward, easy. If you know the concepts, if you have solved enough problems, you can easily solve it. Okay, so this 90% basically indicates what are your chances of scoring if you don't make silly mistakes and easy questions. mostly easy questions, right? Similarly, if you look at digital logic design here, 90% of the marks you can easily score, and so on and so forth. So if you open this Google Sheet, as you keep going down, these numbers will keep reducing in general. Okay. Again, you have a set of easy to score topics and slightly trickier and harder to score topics. For example, in theory of computation and compiler design, decidability, undecidability is sometimes tricky. Even from these tricky concepts, sometimes you get easy to score questions. It's not always mandatory that you will get only tricky questions from decidability and undecidability, right? You could get easy to solve questions also from these tricky concepts sometimes. Now here comes the analysis from GATE CSE 2021 set 1. We'll also see set 2. So in GATE CSE 2021 set 1, there were 14 marks from theory of computation and compiler design, slightly more than what we typically expect. Now here we have given the breakdown of all the topics. Now amongst these 14 marks, 10 marks were easy scoring. So from these 14 marks, 4 marks were slightly tricky or slightly harder, but 10 marks you could easily score just from the easy to score areas and easy to score questions, right? Similarly, look at this. From digital logic design, we saw 6 marks from digital logic design in this question paper of GATE CSE 2021 set 1. Of these 6 marks, 4 marks are easy to score. There are only 2 marks which are trickier to score, right? Again, I will show you that if you sum up all of them, look at this. This is only for a few topics and subjects, right? If you sum up all of this, you will get, I think, 57 marks. I'll show you that in a couple of minutes, right? Which means by just scoring on the easy to score topics, even in GATE CSE 2021 set 1, you can get 55 plus marks or a rank less than 500. Okay, just wanted to drive that point. Okay, so now look at this. There are some more rows, also there are some more columns to the right of it, right? So let's go to the right of it. Again, here you see easy scoring areas from set 2 and GATE CSE 2021 set 2 analysis, right? This is set 2. For example, in theory of computation and compiler design, in set 2 you got 19 marks, significantly more than what we typically expect. But out of these 19 marks, 15 marks were easy to score. Again, some questions might be lengthy. Just because the questions are lengthy doesn't mean that the questions are hard. You just have to be careful, read it carefully, and you can easily score 15 marks out of the 19. 4 surely slightly tricky. For example, there are some topics which are marked here as slightly tricky to score, right? Now similarly, we have done similar analysis for GATE CSE 2020 and 2019 also. So this whole sheet is a very big sheet, so please feel free to open it, read it through. Okay, I don't want to spend too much time just explaining what's there. Since you know how to read it, so these are your first columns, these are the first set of columns, then you will see these columns, right? And you'll see a bunch of subjects and topics ordered roughly in the order in which you have a higher probability of scoring through easy questions, right? I will also show you in just a couple of minutes that if you got GATE CSE 2021 set 2, if you just attempted all of these easy scoring topics and answered them correctly without silly mistakes, you would still get around 55 marks. I think you would get about 53 marks if I'm not wrong, right? So there are, again, this is not the end of the sheet. It's a fairly big sheet with all the topics and subjects. There are more rows below this. Please spend some time going through this. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Cool. Now the summary from this whole sheet, again, as I told you, it's a big sheet. The summary takeaway is this. This is the order in which we are recommending you go through the subjects. First start with theory of computation and compiler design, then digital logic design, graph theory, set theory and algebraic structures, recurrence relations, generating functions, and linear algebra. After you finish this, then go to this. Aptitude, permutations, combinatorics and probability, calculus, logic, and C programming. Once you finish that, data structures, algorithms, databases, operating systems, then computer networks, computer organization. This way, you will start with subjects which have a higher probability of scoring, where you see more easy questions, so that your motivation levels stay high, and by the time you come to the later subjects like your operating systems, computer networks, computer organization, and architecture, you would have solved enough problems to gain the confidence in yourself, right? This is the order that we are recommending. Again, this is exactly the same order that you will find in this Google spreadsheet also. Okay, cool. So again, as I told you, right, I told you that there is a simple proof that I will, simple data-driven proof, right? It's not a rigorous mathematical proof. But if you see GATE 2021, if you just solve the easy to score questions without silly mistakes, only easy scoring. Suppose let's assume you could not attempt any of the trickier questions. You skipped all of them. Only easy scoring topics and questions. and no silly mistakes. In set 1, you would score 57 marks. So in other words, if you go to this column and if you sum it up, if you sum up all these marks, you'll get 57. You'll see that in the spreadsheet also. Similarly, if you take the set 2 and if you sum up all the marks, I think you'll get about 53 marks. So 57 and 53 marks are roughly the range. Roughly, again, we don't know the exactly GATE CSE 2021 results yet, but roughly if you score 57 marks in set 1 and 53 marks in set 2, you would be in and around that 500 rank, right? So again, similar analysis we have done for GATE CSE 2020, 2019, etc. And this strategy works fairly well, right? Cool. So again, let me give you a very interesting example. So we had a student from GATE CSE 2021 who attempted the set 1, which is considered slightly easier than the set 2. Now we had a student who got 70 plus marks. I will not be able to exactly disclose his marks, but he got between 70 and 72, okay? The most interesting part was the student had 0 negative marks. So because GATE publishes your answer sheet, so he got his answer sheet, he matched it. He's, as of today, again, this 0 negative marks might change if some questions get corrected, but as of our best understanding, as of today, he has 0 negative marks. This is a very interesting feat because here is a student who used to commit silly mistakes earlier. So he reached out to us and he wanted to inform this to us because he has worked very hard on minimizing or reducing his silly mistakes. Because the moment you reduce silly mistakes, you also reduce the number of negative marks. Again, there aren't negative marks for some types of questions in GATE. So probably he may have done some silly mistakes there, but at least for the questions where there are negative marks, he has done no silly mistakes. Okay, it's a big feat. So it is possible in GATE, if you are careful, if you work on your silly mistakes, and if you just prepare thoroughly, you can get 70 plus marks and avoid negative marks altogether, right? It's a very interesting story. Cool. Now, most importantly, for everyone who is preparing for GATE CSE 2022, all the very best. It's best to start early so that you have ample time to prepare. The earlier, the better. But please don't forget to put in persistent and consistent effort over the next few months. Solve as many problems as possible. If you have any further questions about GATE CSE preparation, please reach out to us at gate.appliedroutes.com. We have our email and phone numbers there. Feel free to reach out to us. We will try and respond as soon as possible. All the very best for your preparation.